Guys, welcome to the show. They assassinated Charlie Kirk, a father, a husband, a man standing on stage doing what he always did, speaking his mind. They shot him down in front of his wife and his kids and a bunch of his supporters. And the most disgusting part is that the bullet wasn't the end of it. The real sickness showed itself after, when the left cheered, when they mocked, when they celebrated a man's death as if it was a sporting event. That's who these people are. And tonight, I'm not going to hold back at all. So I got a lot of details for you I'm going to go into and why I believe this was a professional hit. This had a lot of precision and planning. It wasn't sloppy. This wasn't some random kid with a pistol in a back row. This definitely, in my opinion, was a professional hit, man. Eyewitnesses described the shooter in full black tactical gear, helmet, vest, and long rifle. The shot came from a rooftop nearly 200 yards away. Now, let me play first off the audio recording of the call-in.
The CS building is just east of the library. He's wearing jeans, black shirt, black mask, long rifle.
Jeans, black vest, black mask, and a long rifle. Look at the about 200 yards right here from a rooftop. This wasn't a guess, man. This wasn't a spray and pray, but deliberate precision strike. And for this type of operation, the biggest thing is your exfil, your escape and evasion plan, okay? An eyewitness says the shot that took the life of Charlie Kirk was fired right after he was asked about trans violence, as if this was coordinated for that moment. He also said he believes it was just it wasn't just one person acting alone, but several people working together. He also claims that someone in the crowd confessed to shooting Charlie Kirk right after it happened, even though they didn't have a weapon. Now, I'm on Instagram. You should go follow me there because I was posting updates as I was getting them. As soon as I was getting videos and information, I was posting it there. And in one of the posts, I had this man here. He says, I have the right to remain silent. Okay. So everyone started commenting saying, no, that's not the guy. That's not the guy. They haven't found the guy. Now, this video, this man said he was the shooter. He told the police that. So obviously probably involved. And then you hear him saying, I have the right to remain silent. Why would you say that? If you were just an innocent person, just a random person they picked up, why would you be saying that? Why would you say, I would have done it again? Okay. There's also some video I came across that there was a man crouched in black.
You think he'd already be in place?
You would think that.
On the roof. Okay. Now,
Just saying.
you see it there.
From,
This looks like someone in the prone position. Okay. You can see a little movement there. So you can see it almost looks like a head and shoulders. So that's the thing is that whenever you're like in the military, man, especially snipers, what they do is break up their head and shoulders because that's how you easily identify a human being. And you see now the head is down. Okay. Now, eyewitnesses, and I saw the video as well. It's disturbing. It looked like a heavy caliber. Right. This type of operation took planning and obviously some marksmanship training. Police detained the one man I showed, right? And he told them he'd do it again, like he was meant to throw them off the trail. A second man was brought in and interrogated. Cash Patel said, oh, we got a guy in custody. He was released, which means the real shooter's still at large. Translation, they don't have their man. This is not a Thomas Crooks, okay? I've got another video here of someone running across the roof right after the shooting. You see that? Looks like they have a backpack on as well. And obviously they would have had to pre-position themselves, food, water, and such, because they would have had to got there before the crowd. Okay. So no telling how long this individual's there. He had to sustain himself for however long. Okay. And the timing of this is what really makes my blood boil. This was the moment that Charlie was asked about gun violence, and he starts his answer and he said, "Does that include gang violence?" And bang, a shot drops him. That's not coincident. That is theater. That is an execution designed to make a statement. Okay, absolutely. This was a shot. I mean, because this was only like his second question, I believe, when this took place. So this was him right before. I have a video of him as soon as he got there, passing out hats. People are cheering. He's passing out hats. Very tragic. Very tragic indeed. Now, again, it was a horrible thing to see, man. And I feel terrible that his family saw this, right? This is going to haunt them the rest of their lives. I'm not going to show the shooting, nor did I post on Instagram, man. And I'm not trying to virtue signal or anything, but I can't be someone that posts something that tragic. It's not something fun to see. It's a horrific thing, okay? The thing that really got me today, though, was the evil response from the left. They revealed who they really are. Instead of mourning a man murdered in front of his family, they laughed. They memed it. They posted that he deserved it. They mocked his pro-Second Amendment stance. Some activists actually typed out, "Good riddance." Evil. That's the only word for it, man. I'm going to play some clips here, right? The media, the first spin was they tried to push it was maybe a supporter firing off a celebration shot. A celebration shot, man. Are you kidding me? Listen.
Difficult news, Kira, because...
Not that one. Let me see if I can get it up real quick.
Yeah, and again, I emphasize what you just emphasized. We don't know any of the full details of this. That we don't know if this was a supporter shooting their gun off in celebration, or so we have no idea.
A supporter shooting their gun off in celebration, man. You kidding me, man? Before the blood was even dry, man, they were running cover. Disgusting. Here's BBC talking about she's never posted a Trump post before, but she's thinking about doing it now.
You know, I've never shared a Trump post in my life. I will contemplate sharing this one. But what I will say with a caveat, he wasn't admired and loved by all. So that's an exaggeration. But the truth is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Sorry,
let me
Maxie,
finish.
go ahead.
They were trying to cut her off because obviously, you know, it's crazy.
Single shot struck Charlie Kirk. Eyewitnesses said they saw a lot of blood coming from him, and then they all scattered. Now the university is urging everyone to leave campus to allow police to conduct the investigation. The suspect that was taken into custody, according to eyewitness accounts, was heard screaming, "I do it again," described as an older male wearing a blue shirt, someone who has white hair, but we've heard nothing else about the suspect, if it is indeed himself, or.
So that was the guy that I showed. And that's why I believe this is something that was included multiple people, right? And horrible. Now, a few days ago, Charlie Kirk posted this. "Hey, Stephen Furtick, you're the biggest pastor in Charlotte, North Carolina, with tens of millions of social media followers. Why haven't you spoke out against the murder of Irina Zaruska? You posted to your millions of followers about George Floyd, yet won't mention Irina. Why?" Absolutely agree. Here's another disgusting post here from this person here, Punished Mother. They're always got some weird names. Right? Maybe Charlie Kirk shouldn't have spent years being a hateful demagogic fascist, and this wouldn't have happened. Maybe he should take some personal responsibility. Saying this about a man that has passed and was murdered in front of his children. The truth, though, is that Charlie was not some radical extremist like they want to make him out to be. He was a family man, a husband, a father, and politically, he was moderate as you can get on the right. You know what I mean? But that didn't matter, because when the machine wants you gone, moderation doesn't save you. They still painted him as an evil fascist. They slapped him with labels: racist, bigot, dangerous. They dehumanized him in the press, in the culture, and until they built a caricature that people could justify hating. And that is exactly what they're doing across the board. They're trying to hate us. You know, if you always see the leftists, especially as of late, man, they're the ones doing all these heinous things, right? And once they're trying to dehumanize us, right? People that care about family, God, freedom. And once you dehumanize someone, man, violence becomes easy. The smear campaign that the left has been doing forever now, Joe Biden, Kamala, all those are to blame too. That was the first shot. The bullet was the punctuation. You have AOC, Ilhan Omar, all these people. This is precisely what the left has been doing for years. They've been balkanizing this country, carving us into tribes, stoking hate, turning neighbor against neighbor. They want us fighting each other, tearing each other apart, because a nation divided is a nation easier to control. They don't want unity. They want a civil war by 1,000 cuts. And, the left constantly talks about they're the party of love and this sort of things. They are the party of the devil. You never hear conservatives doing these psycho things. They'll try to say it that you're doing it, but they're the ones who are doing it. They're the ones that's taking rifles into schools and these sort of things, right? They've tried everything possible. They've tried black versus white, in which they've truly succeeded at that. Irina Zaruska, prime example. And this is what you need to understand, man. The left is rotten. They're not just wrong on policy. They're spiritually sick, evil, hateful human beings. Even on my post today, man, I had sick people commenting things about Charlie Kirk. You don't see conservatives celebrating death. You don't see men on the right cheering when tragedy strikes. But the left, they live in bitterness, man. They thrive on envy. They're lazy, entitled, empty. They don't want to work. They don't want to sacrifice. They don't want to earn anything. They wake up mad. They go to bed mad. And in between, they look for targets to project their misery onto. I see it every day. They hated Charlie not because he was dangerous, but because he stood up, because he built something, because he pushed back against their narratives. His very existence reminded them of their own weaknesses. And for that, they wanted him erased. That is evil. He hit them with facts they couldn't argue because they lacked the intelligence to do so. They struggle like Biden to put a meaningful sentence together. I guess that's why he was such a good mascot for them, because they're all that way. Whenever you place an argument with them, start showing them facts and receipts, they go off on their feelings. It's racist or whatever. And man, look, those words I'm so tired of those words. I don't even care. That's kind of stuff does not bother me whatsoever. You can call me whatever. It does not bother me. I could care less. Right. But the darker thing right now is that if you look around, and I felt this before today, nothing feels right. Things feel fractured. A lot of people are cheering, and I talked about this earlier in the year when Donald Trump got elected, that everybody was cheering and like everything's back to normal. To me, I think things are going to get worse. Nothing is right now. Nothing feels right. If you look around, we just had Israel bomb Qatar. They bombed somewhere else today. this week without telling Donald Trump until the bombs were already falling. Russian drones breaching Polish airspace, testing NATO like they want to trigger Article 5. And at home, our political leaders are covering up Epstein files while pretending the world isn't collapsing. A beautiful young woman just got stabbed on public transportation. Think about it now. She was safer in a country at actual war than public transportation in Charlotte, North Carolina. She was safer in a damn war zone than here in our country. And now, on American soil, a conservative figure is gunned down in public during a Q&A in front of thousands, and the shooter still at large. And the thing is, dude, the world is so crazy right now. These leftists, they get so bitter because they want to demand you believe what they believe, and if you don't, they're gonna take you out. The right didn't like that. Trying to force their ideologies. If you don't believe their ideologies, they don't want you to exist. You tell me again this is random. Tell me again the world isn't tilting towards chaos. What I've been saying, it's going to get worse before it gets worse. Now, Donald Trump did order flags flown at half-mast for the rest of the week to honor Charlie Kirk. But let's be real, man. Half-mast isn't enough, because this wasn't just an attack on Charlie. This was a warning to everyone who stands against the evil machine. They're telling you to shut up or else. They're coming to silence anyone who disagrees with them, and they'll do it right in front of your kids. These people don't have hearts. They're true evil. And the world is infested with it right now. You know, and as us, the part for many of you, you may not want to hear. You're already in a battlefield. I've been saying this, said it last night, I think. Stop pretending otherwise. You need to be prepared like your life depends on it, because it does. Every day you step out of your house, you're in a war zone. Awareness. Stop living distracted. Never turn your back in public. Never bury your face in your phone. Situational awareness is your first weapon, and probably the strongest weapon you have. Physical fitness. If you can't sprint 200 yards with a pack on, you're dead weight. Strong body, strong mind is not an option. Okay? Weapons. Carry daily. Carry them. Firearm, blade, light. Have layers. Train with them until it's instinct. Have medical gear. In case something goes bad, you can render aid to yourself or to your loved ones quickly. A go bag. Man, I've been preaching this for years. A go bag, right? I made this one so it's convenient to carry. The ghost pack for urban situations. Build it. Stage it. Drill it. Water, filtration, medical, extra mags, tourniquet, cash, burner phone, map, compass. I'm not talking about toys, tools for survival. Procedures. Don't just own your gear. Know how to use it under pressure. Have exfil routes planned, rally points set, rehearse scenarios until its response is muscle memory, because when it's go time, you won't rise to the occasion. You will fall to your level of training. And your family needs to know how to apply first aid. They know how to run firearms, defend themselves, because maybe dad isn't always going to be around. Maybe mom isn't always going to be around. This is not paranoia. This is the reality. Monsters walk among us, and they're not hiding anymore. They're doing it right in broad daylight, in front of thousands of people, in front of wife and children. They don't care. The war has already started. Charlie Kirk's assassination is a shot fired in the open of war against anyone who refuses to kneel. The man in black may have pulled the trigger, but every leftist is dancing on his grave, is complicit. Their venom, their smears, their hatred, put that target on his head, and yours as well. Don't let anyone gaslight you. Don't let anyone tell you this is business as usual, because it's not. We are already in a war. Not a war that you or I chose, but a war you're in. And the only question now is whether you prepare, arm up, and stand ready, or whether you sit weak scrolling and hoping evil passes you by, and you just say this is clickbait. Charlie Kirk died as a fighter. The least you can do is live like one. You got to be frosty, be strapped, be dangerous, because this was not the end. It was just the beginning. And it's only going to get worse before it gets worse. Stay frosty, strapped, and dangerous. I'm Black Scout Survival. Leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe. Black Scout out.
2, 3. 4, 2.